Hi friends, MD Vegan. I make a white chocolate cake with pears. I have a bunch of pears here. You see it's a large amount, four pears or so, or five, I don't know. I peeled them and cut them into small pieces. I take out, this time I peel them and I cut out a little bit of the core because I want that sweet pear flavor without the slightly bitter peel. The peel is sometimes very delicious in a pear. Don't get me wrong, I love that. And I eat some of the peel also while I did it. But in this case, with the white chocolate together, I would think that would be not the right combination. So only the pear flesh, the sweet. I have bought a bunch of pears some time ago, put them on my shelf and wait until they are ripe to the perfect state. And now they are ripe to use. 1 or 2 or 3 days later they would be too soft and the flavor goes away, the pear falls apart, gets brown, it's over. But this pear is at the perfect state and now it's time to make the cake. I've been waiting for that. I make a simple cake. I have 3 parts. Take 3 method. It's easy to remember. So when I make a cake I always begin with the same thing. I have a little Springform here. It's the easiest way for me. Lined with parchment paper. I cover the sides. I layer them a little bit with coconut fat to make it easier to take the cake out. Nothing more to it. That's easy. So I have the Springform. And I make a dough now for the bottom. And that is the easiest form to me is I have almonds. Can be any nut. If you like, you can have walnuts. The walnuts are very nice for pears. I take the almonds today because the almonds, they have a little bit of vanilla flavor and the vanilla also comes into play later. So it is almonds today. I begin, the food processor is fitted with the S-blade. That is the best tool for me to make a coarse meal first with the almonds, 1.5 cups. I don't need that much today. 1.5 cups of almonds. And I begin to make a coarse meal. It takes not so long, but first the almonds, then the dates. I show you. This is my coarse meal. 1.5 cup almonds. That makes this kind of meal. Here you see, I show you what it looks like. It takes a couple of minutes to get it coarse like this. If I put the almonds in right away together with the almonds, with the dates, if I put the dates here, I have a dozen dates or so to make a sticky dough. Now the coarse meal turns into a sticky dough. So when I put the dates in first together with the almonds, it takes much longer to get the same finer refinement from the almonds because the dates make it slow it very much down. So I begin with the almonds, that saves me time, and then I put the dates. It's a simple trick. It's not so important, but it saves some time, so why not? And also, I want to have in this case a little bit of finer dough. I could make a more coarse dough with bigger pieces of almonds for other cakes, but the white chocolate is a very fine, refined ingredient, a little bit refined dough for the bottom. So I have a little bit more broken down the almond before I put in the dates. And I have a tablespoon of cinnamon. That is very nice. It is very nice together with the dates. The dates have a malty flavor. It's my favorite sweetener. And they make the dough sticky, so it sticks together. I'll show you in a moment. And at the same time, they have this brown dark color, and that makes it malty. The flavor is very nice, and it fits so nicely together with the cinnamon. I could also put vanilla in there, but well, vanilla goes more with the pears, and the bottom is a different story. So the bottom is a little cinnamony with a malty flavor of the dates, and then on top I have a little bit of the vanilla plain. Let's say that I show you later. So now, sticky dough. This is my sticky dough. Took a little bit longer than coursing the almond meal. But here, that is what I mean when I talk about the sticky dough here. Sticky dough is when I press the dough into the finger, between the fingers, you see it sticks together. Yeah, and that's the nice way to get it into a bottom that keeps together. When I cut a piece out of the cake, I want the pieces to stick together, not to fall apart. Without baking, that is the thing. So I just put the sticky dough into the bottom as is, lined with parchment paper, the sides a little bit covered with coconut oil, just to make it easier to take out the cake after it's done. Tomorrow, it will be tomorrow. It takes one day, usually. So I take out everything. Now that's the first thing I have to do always. It's always the same procedure, basically. Whatever kind of nut I take or whatever variation I make for the bottom, I usually do the same procedures here. First coarse meal, then sticky dough. And now I put the sticky dough into the Springform, and first I spread it evenly. That's very easy. That's with the fingers a little bit, because once you press it down, like now, press it down, you can't change the balance anymore. And when there's a little bit more here, you can't get it over there anymore. So I have to do that before, ahead of time. And now I can begin to press it down. And this will take some moments because I want to make sure it is firm when I put the filling on top. So I come back in a moment when this is done. And then I show you my bottom. The bottom is done. Here, that's what it looked like. See, and it's firm. Can you hear? And you see the sides especially. With the fingers, the last thing I do is with the fingers, pressing it down, because it's always important to make the sides especially firm, because it's always about making it beautiful. When I cut out a piece of the cake, the sides fall apart first. And of course the rest has to be firm too, but the sides always, they loosen out a little bit. So that's the last thing I do. So now the bottom is done, first part. Second part, filling. So the filling has two parts, together three. And I first show you the pears, that is the first part. And now I need something for the pears to hold together. And that's where the white chocolate comes in. I show you how to make a white chocolate cream. I need my blender for that. It's very easy. I blend, basically to make a chocolate, I blend nuts or with cacao butter. That is the basic thing. You know, here I have a good cup of cashews, a little bit more maybe than a cup. Yeah, it's a little bit overfilled. It's more than a cup of cashews. That's the first thing. And to make it a little bit sweeter and a little bit creamier. Yeah. So when you blend nuts, the nuts in the cacao, in a chocolate, make the chocolate milkier. That means it makes it lighter. You have only cacao and less nuts, you have a dark chocolate, very dark. You know, the more nuts you put in, the lighter it gets, and the sweeter, not so bitter. And you can make it even creamier and a little bit more smooth if you put banana in there. And also banana adds a nice vanilla-like flavor. That's, now we come to the vanilla play. So bananas in first because of the blender, easier to blend. So first in, that is 2 bananas basically, I would say. 2 bananas and a large cup of cashews. That's the idea of it. And I sweeten the whole thing with some dates. I like that date sweeter. I want a little bit more sweet. You know, the pears have a gentle flavor. They need a little bit of push, so the dates push it a little bit to the flavor, to have more flavor. And also vanilla. The bananas make it vanilla-like, for one, but I actually add a good teaspoon of vanilla powder to make it even more vanilla-like, the flavor. And that I would think would be very nice with the white chocolate around the pears. That's basically it. So what I did not add yet, you will might wonder, is the the cacao butter. Here, you see, this is a hot water in that cup. On top of the hot water, I have a little container with cacao butter, liquefied, and I have a block of cacao butter. You can also buy little pills of cacao butter. That depends on how they sell it. And then I cut down from the block, I scrape it down. It's very firm, the cacao butter. Put it into the container here, and then I put it in hot water. And in no time, it melts down to this liquid. But before I put it into my cashew banana cream with the vanilla, I blend that, and then afterwards, otherwise when I put it in there right away, it can happen that the blender throws the liquefied cacao butter to the sides of the blender. There it cools down and sticks to the side and is not in the cream anymore. So to avoid that, first I blend the cream and then I put in the cacao butter liquefied. So let's see if that works. I might have to do a little magic here. It's always a little tricky how it works with the bananas and the cashews. Is it smooth enough, or do I need to help a little bit? Let's see. Blender dance. You see what I'm talking about? It's a little bit too dry. If I put more bananas in, it would work. But here, that's what I have now. Just to give you an impression, it's a little bit too dry. But I will put a little bit of water. I don't want to have more banana in there. Just a small amount of water. That should work too. Just not much. It shouldn't be watery, no? The flavor would dilute it. Just to make the blender work a little bit better, to get the nuts all in and so the dates. Let's try. I begin with a minimum amount of liquid. I don't want to make the cream too runny, so it has to be firm afterwards, so I'll be careful. I scrape down the sides from the blender, and maybe I put in a little bit more water, smallest amount. I want to have it creamier, just another small amount. It's not more than half a cup so far, maximum. The flavor is very nice. Yeah, I think now I have the minimal amount of water. That's what it looks like here. See, it's still pretty firm, and I have to put it around. The pears in the end. So I have to make sure it's not too thick and not too runny. Yeah, because in the end, tomorrow it has to be firm to cut out pieces. So I have to be careful. So a little bit more of water, a little bit more. Just another little moment. One more. Yeah, I always remember I have to blend a little bit longer because the nuts and the dates, they are dry, not soaked. So the nuts and pears are dry, not soaked. So they will soak the water from the cream and get firmer. So that's why I can add a little bit of water. And now it looks better. Now it looks a little bit, it moves a little bit, you see. Now it runs a little bit. So that I can work with it with the pears. And now I can, and also I have to blend it several times because to break down the nuts and make it really creamy. So blending here is very important. I don't want to have it coarse cream, I want to have it very gentle and smooth cream for the chocolate to be very nice. So now I put the cacao butter in. I'll show you again. This is not too much. Maybe, I don't know, it's liquified, it's not even half a cup. That should be enough to get a nice warming flavor, chocolate flavor into the cream. Together with the cashew, that's perfect. This cacao butter is really wonderful. It's pressed from the cacao beans and is pure warmth, really pure energy. And it's had this very strong cacao flavor. It's amazing. It's really heating up everything inside. You can breathe it in and wow, that's very, very nice. You know, I don't take too much. It's very strong and it's pure fat almost. But to making your own chocolate, you can really play with these things. One more blender dance, I guess, then I'm done with the cream. Of course, I will check the flavor. Yeah, the texture, I guess, is now as I want it. I show you. Yeah, the cream is now, it's really nice and smooth and creamy. Amazing. I hope it fits with the pears. I was really wondering, would I put now cacao powder into it to make it a dark chocolate, or leave it a white chocolate? I was in the end, I was for the white chocolate. I was wavering a little bit, but let's see. Now I show you here again my pears. Before I filled it into the Springform to see if I have enough, because I really want to have mainly pears in there, the pear pie. But so it has to be here, fitting here with this. So I cut the pears, fill it in, and see. Oh yeah, it might fit. I hope it does. Now I put the cacao, the white chocolate cream on top. Here I show you what it looks like. So you have an impression. Here you see that's how it is. It's really nice and creamy. You can see that. Yeah, it's not too much, but that's what it should be. I hope it works. When I have too much, and I have a chocolate cake, and I want to have a pear cake, a pear pie, and not the chocolate. The chocolate is only to hold the pears. So it's a fruit cake. That's what I want. There can be very different kinds of cakes. Whatever you like. You can put more or less pears, more or less chocolate, all kinds of chocolate you want, and you can put nuts into that, like walnuts will be nice here maybe. So many ways to do it. I here begin with a very simple version. The only thing that is very extra is the vanilla powder here that makes it a little bit special. Vanilla is very expensive these days. It tripled in price, caused the problems with the harvest in Africa. But I hope it will come down again. So sometimes I still use vanilla. It's really, it's an amazing seasoning. It's wonderful. I will put some banana in there, blend it, and have a wonderful drink. Don't throw that away, of course. Yeah. So now I will just combine carefully. I don't want to mash the soft pears like this, the outside in. very carefully. And then I can fill it into my cake, into my Springform, and to make the cake. I have to combine everything evenly. Looks good. I never did this before. Usually when I make a cake with fruit, what always happens, always, no exception. In the end, I cut the piece out of the cake when it's done, and I wonder, where is the fruit? And magically, somehow the fruit seems to vanish. Somehow, I always think, hey, I put so many fruit in there. Where is it now? It's mostly filling now. Where is the fruit? Yeah, so let's see what happens this time. I try to make really a lot of fruit here. See? It's a lot of fruit, only a little bit of white chocolate. The problem is, if I take too little chocolate, it won't keep together, you know, it'll fall apart. So I hope that it works now. Now I fill it. It looks nice, seems to fit. Yeah, nice. Seems to be the right amount. I love the white chocolate. It's nice to make it yourself. It's so easy. Cashews, cacao butter, bananas, dates, whatever you like. There you go. Yeah, it's so easy to make your own chocolate. And then you know everything that's inside the chocolate. You know it all. Before I made these kind of recipes, I always bought chocolate. I had always some chocolate at home. Honestly, I don't do that anymore. Really. I'm standing in the shop and I wonder, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have some chocolate? And I was stand there and wait, and then I think, well, no, I make my own. Yeah, but you know, it's so easy. Yeah, blending nuts, cacao butter is inexpensive. It's yeah, not the price, but you know, for many purposes, I can make a cacao cream, a chocolate cream, put it on a dessert. Yeah, it looks nice here, and do so many things. I can make a cacao drink, you know, and I can even make my own cacao chocolate bars. Also easy. So that looks nice. That looks promising. I hope it works. So what I will do now is, you see, I put a little foil on top and put it in the refrigerator. And tomorrow, when it's firm, I show you how I open it and cut the first piece out. Then we'll see what happens. It might be nice, but I have to see. Thanks for watching. I see you in a moment. Now that's, you know, well, a day later, about a day later, the cake is done. I hope I touched the surface a little bit. You see, this is the foil I talked about. The foil on top. That's important because you see the little places here. When I just put it off, and I keep that foil. I keep it. I don't throw it away because I will put that cake back into the fridge. Yeah. But you have now such a surface, a nice surface. And without that foil, there would be puddles there, water would be there. It comes from the cake and then it falls down back on the cake when you just put a plate on top. Yeah. You can put a large plate on top, you don't need a foil, but then you have this such a nice surface of the cake. So I want to have nice, so you always do this foil. But when I cut a piece out of the cake, what I do now, and I put the cake back into the fridge, I take the foil again, so don't throw it away right away. Yeah. Just to tell you a little bit ecology. So, now I open it, and here I have the Springform, and the outside of the Springform has to, oh yeah, it doesn't work. So, careful. So, what I have shown, if I open the Springform, the surface can crack, and the cake falls apart, especially as there are so many pears, little pieces, in the cake, in the filling. It is also clear that it could easily fall apart. This is the main thing, the main question that that I have now for this cake, will it remain as one piece or will it fall apart? We have so many fruit inside, right? So I will be careful, and before I open it, I will take a little knife, a thin blade, and run around to loosen the cake from the Springform. Very careful, but when I do that, the Springform usually, and it feels great, opens very easily, and there are no more cracks in the cake, in the surface. So it feels now great. You cannot see that, of course, that is what I can only feel, but I have to be careful, I have to be very aware how I use that knife here. I cannot cut into the cake, I have to always cut against the Springform. So that was nice, felt great. So now I can open it again. I can try to open it. Yeah, that looks great. Nothing happens to the surface anymore. I can take off the Springform and here is my cake. That's what it looks like. It looks nice so far, a nice bottom, a nice crust. Now I can cut out the first piece. Let's see how that works. And that's the most important moment now. You know, when I have these kind of cakes with a filling that needs to firm up in the refrigerator for a night or so, what I notice sometimes, if you wait 2 days or even 3 days, you have the really perfect texture of the cake. You can cut it already after the first night, so now, I will do that now. But sometimes it really gets best, yeah, firm and and so after 2 more days. So I will try that now and show you the result. But sometimes it's even better after some days. So I have to put the knife deep into the cake until to the bottom to cut through the bottom too. The bottom needs to be cut too. That is the firmest part. And make very small cuts here to make sure the whole bottom is cut through. Otherwise I won't be able to take out a piece. Yeah, that I can feel it. It goes right through the bottom. So the first cut felt very good. I have the second cut now, and then I can take out my piece. So right in the center, right through the center. It's a very soft filling that feels great. It's a white chocolate cream. I can't wait to taste it. But now, first it has to be firm enough. And then I'm very curious how many pears I will see. Because I said it before, it always seems that they all vanish all of a sudden, like in magic. I don't know how that happens. I think there is a physical explanation, of course. I mean, they shrink a little bit and give the liquid into the filling, so they seem to be smaller. But I think that is the easiest explanation I would think of. But it is really amazing. You put all these fruits in a cake, and after all, where are the fruit? I thought I had more inside. Now I have to be careful to get a piece out, to leave the piece whole, and not to lose parts of it. Yeah, I did it. See, that's my piece. It works. First I put on the plate to make sure, keep it safe. Whoops, so. Mission completed. Now, really, look at that. Look at that. Where are all the pears? Again, you see, so much white chocolate. You see the pears here, they are all over. But still, I had many more pears, as it seems now. You remember when I put the pears into the cake, they were full of pears. And now it seems not even half. Most of the filling seems to be chocolate, right? That is so interesting. You see, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful filling, a beautiful cake. I feel it's really nice. I can't wait to taste it now. I will taste my cake in privacy. Let me see. I have a little bit of a crust here, of the filling here. Wow. Wow. How wonderful. Just a little a bit of the filling. It's a white chocolate infused with a pear flavor. Delicious. So that was a success. I'm happy. I will have that piece of cake right away. I'm making maybe a piece of a little cup of coffee or so. First I take the photo. You will see the photo also in the movie. So right after this scene with the cutting, you will see a little epilogue where you see the whole cake. Yeah, and then you will see what I do tonight in the afternoon. Thanks for watching again. I hope you enjoy. If you like my video, subscribe MD Vegan on YouTube. Have another recipe every single day. And find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Hi again. This is what my afternoon could look like now. I have a nice piece of my new white chocolate pear cake, and maybe a look into this nice book, and I would greatly enjoy that for sure. I hope you're doing great. I hope to see you soon.